What is the world's funniest joke? What's the difference between a good joke and a bad joke timing? This shouldn't work in text form, but it did. Timing. Not much, how are you? I actually think it is better in text form. This suit is black knit. I'd say it's blue. Is grey. This took me way too long to read properly. Same. What's the difference between a good joke and a bad joke repetition? I don't get it. Guy goes to the funeral of his respected business partner. He comes across the grieving widow and takes her hand. He comes up to the grieving family and solemnly asks, "If I may say a word." The widow nods, and the grieving family looks on. The guy speaks, plethora. The widow, "Thank you. That means a lot." Alternatively, the man stands up and says, "Bargain." "Thank you," says the widow, "that means a great deal." Alternatively, the man stands up and says, "Train whistle." "Thank you," says the widow, "I wish he could have heard that." Alternatively, the man stands up and says, "Infinity." "Thank you," says the widow, "that means more than you could imagine." You couch but with magic. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't hurt. You're welcome. Seldom a week goes by where I don't think of this and feel some joy. On the bright side, people like to think about you. So the saddest joke and funniest joke are the same joke. Till. Nice. A man went to the zoo. All they had to exhibit was a dog. It was a Shih Tzu. One of my all-time favorites. Please explain. What can think the unthinkable? An iceberg? I don't get it. Mike Tyson. Actually, he'd be more likely to get it. Very good. We'll remember that one. I don't get it. It's saying what can sink the unsinkable? You have to change all th to s. I don't get it. It's saying what can sink the unsinkable? You have to change all th to s. Better Nate than Lever. My favorite joke. Definitely the best joke ever that is worth every minute. Not if you ask the people I've told to read it. They hated me. It's so long, but worth it. I don't get. www.natethasnake.com. Or 3-month pregnant woman falls into a coma. A year later she awakes and says, "Woman, what has happened to my baby?" "Doctor, don't worry. You had twins, a boy and a girl, and your brother named them for you." "Woman, oh no, not my brother. He's an idiot. What did he name them?" "Doctor, a beautiful girl called Denise." "Woman, that's not too bad. What about the boy?" "Doctor, Denephew." Remind me to do this for the next time I get an e-nephew. Classic. I just got in trouble for reading this at work and laughing out loud. Worth it. Q. What do you get if you inject human DNA into a goat? A. Banned from the petting zoo. My uncle is a brave man. He has red heart of a lion and a lifetime ban from the zoo. Howl Up. A busload of politicians were driving down a country road when suddenly the bus ran off the road and crashed into an old farmer's barn. The old farmer got off his tractor and went to investigate. Soon he dug a hole and buried the politicians. A few days later, the local sheriff came out, saw the crashed bus, and asked the old farmer where all the politicians had gone. The old farmer told him he had buried them. The sheriff asked the old farmer, "Lordy, were they all dead?" The old farmer said, "Well, some of them said they weren't, but you know how them crooked politicians lie." Have you heard of Murphy's Law? If something can go wrong, it will go wrong? Yes. What about Newton's Law? CAMOSE dice UNZA pato en Ingalls? A shoe. Salad. A man who speaks only Spanish is visiting the United States and needs to buy some socks. He goes to the department store and the young sales associate immediately goes to help him. "What can I help you find today?" "Calcetines, por favor." He tries showing her calcetines, Paulo's pies. Still not understand him. She takes him around to the store, showing him everything they have. "Do you need pants? These? No, no. Do you need shirts? Like these? No, no. Do you need ties? Like these? No, no. How about socks? Like these? AHH. He's OC, I guess. Well, if you knew how to spell it, why didn't you say so? Easy. It took me a minute. Nice. As a student taking Spanish, that was hilarious. 3 logicians walk into a bar. The bartender asks the 3 of you want a drink? The first one says I don't know. The second one says I don't know. The third one says yes. An engineer, a biologist, and a mathematician are in the park. They observe 2 people go into a nearby house. A little later, they see 3 people leaving. The engineer says our initial assumption was incorrect. The biologist says they must have reproduced. The mathematician says now, if one person goes into the house, it will be empty. What's the difference between a hippo and a Zippo? I don't know. What is the difference between a hippo and a Zippo? One is really heavy, and the other is a little lighter. I don't get it. Lol. One's a little lighter. One is a very heavy animal, the other is a little lighter. Why did Sally fall off the swing? She has no arms. Knock knock. Who's there? Not Sally. It's not Sally, it's the chicken again. Why did Sally fall off the swing? She has no arms. Knock knock. Who's there? Sally with a bruise on her forehead. Where do you find the zebra? 25 letters after A. Bra. Where do you find zebra? Under the neck, on the chest. New Zealand humor at its finest.